Tonight, NBC5 investigates America's latest conquest, 2,600 miles from Chicago in the Arctic Circle.
President Trump now says he has struck a deal for the U.S. to control Greenland. Our investigative reporter Chuck Goudie here at the desk with some late details for us. Chuck?
Stephen, Allison, President Trump this morning promised there would be no need for American military might to take Greenland, a nation whose population is about the same as Berwyn and has no independent fighting force. By the afternoon, it appeared the president's deal was accomplished simply by pulling back threatened tariffs on European nations in exchange for U.S. control of the world's biggest island.
Really fantastic for the USA. Gets everything we wanted, including especially real national security and international security. It's a long-term deal. It's the ultimate long-term deal. And I think it puts everybody in a really good position, especially as it pertains to security and minerals.
U.S. military aircraft take off from a U.S. air base in Greenland, where the American flag is firmly planted in frozen Arctic soil. But these scenes of U.S. forces and fighters in Greenland aren't new today. It's been this way for decades. U.S. treaties with the Kingdom of Denmark that governs and funds Greenland give the U.S. wide defensive military latitude and have ever since World War II, through the Cold War and right up to today. Hundreds of U.S. service personnel regularly rotate through deployments here, tons of equipment in place at American facilities, including sophisticated missile tracking systems. And ongoing training is underway here by U.S. and NATO forces. Those facts tonight lead some experts to question why the Trump administration wants to outright own Greenland when treaties with Denmark successfully allow protection from foreign threats.
Well, that is the thing that's a bit confusing about this whole brouhaha, because America has had military bases in Greenland for decades. The U.S., by treaty, since the 1950s, has had extensive military access to Greenland. Greenland is covered under NATO obligations, and the U.S. and its NATO allies have been conducting operations, increasingly so, in Greenland and from the Arctic more generally. So the idea of needing to conquer Greenland, needing Greenland to be part of the United States for U.S. national security, just isn't true. It doesn't hold water.
Surrounded by idyllic scenery, a population of less than 60,000 people don't want additional American presence or control here, and neither do a majority of Americans, according to research by the Chicago Council on Global Affairs.
In the polling that we've seen, Americans don't favor purchasing Greenland either. And of course, if you ask Greenlanders, they're perfectly happy with the current arrangement.
The details of the deal have not been made public, and some parties to the discussions tonight say that's because they haven't been ironed out. All of this unfolding in Davos, Switzerland, where President Trump and many other global leaders are attending the annual World Economic Forum. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days.
An interesting day today. They were saying more of a framework of this deal as a way to describe it.
It went from seeming to be nailed down details to the framework.
Okay. We'll get those little details bit by bit.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it.